Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here. In this Hearthstone video, I'm going to take a look at the top 10 best decks to climb to Legend in May 2022. Seriously, there's like 5 decks that I would really, maybe 4 or 5 decks that I would really recommend for climbing to Legend, but all of these 10 decks are decks that have above 50% win rate, so all of these can get the climb done. With some of them it just might take a little bit longer. So let's start with number 10. Number 10 is Naga Mage. Yeah, the Ping Mage variant of Naga Mage running Wildfires, Reckless Apprentices, Magister Dawn, Grass Mortars, Fire Eye seems to be the superior approach by far to the archetype. In fact, running without the Ping package Naga Mage, it just isn't anything nowadays, so this is definitely the way to go. There were some indications that maybe a list without Magister Dawngrass would be useful from the Master's Tour, but that has not translated into ladder success. So for ladder, using the hero card still seems like the best way. Number 9 is a newcomer to the list. Anaconda Druid didn't quite save Druid, it's struggling to maintain 50% win rate, but Ramp Druid is back. Well, win rate might not be that spectacular, we're talking maybe 53%, but overall this sort of Ramp Druid with more focus on dragons, more dragons, Onyxian Warders, Isera the Dreamer, Alexstrasza the Lifebinder, Vandar Stormpike over here, so that you can really discount all that stuff. And this is now the best performing Druid deck on the ladder. You would have thought that, okay, does this strategy work for Druid? Ramping strategy, it seems that, okay, people are playing decks that are pretty good against that, but hey, Druid is just doubling down on that strategy, adding Vandar Stormpike, and saying like, hey, I'm just going to play this stuff really early, whether you like it or not. And that seems to be a functional strategy. It is terrible against aggro decks, but it can be crushing against control decks. Speaking of control decks, the number 8 best deck in the game at the moment is Quest Warrior. Yeah, we just can't get rid of Quest Warrior. Nothing has changed with Quest Warrior, this is still the same list that it has been for weeks, and, well, it's just Quest Warrior. But because there are more control decks in the game right now, because people are trying to play some control decks to counter still the by far best deck in the game, Aggro Demon Hunter, spoilers, but yeah, I mean, that cannot come as a surprise, right? So, people are playing some control decks to counter those Aggro Demon Hunters, and Quest Warrior is good against control decks, so the rise of some control decks has given Quest Warrior a new lease on life, and it seems to be still plaguing the ladder from here to eternity. Number 7 is Mech Mage, again, one of these new archetypes that were almost pre-built. Not a single card has changed for weeks in Mech Mage, and why would it? There's no reason to change anything, it's fine, it's fine. Mech Mage has a bit of a weird matchup spread because it loses to both Aggro Demon Hunter, Quest Hunter and Control Warrior, and that could be kind of troubling. But it has some good matchups too. Everyone who's trying to play something a little bit different is going to fall prey to Mech Mage. Not one of my favorite decks to take all the way to Legend, but it still seems to be running above 50% win rate. And the 6th best deck in the game is Control Paladin. Control Paladin is still hanging on, still a control deck. It's barely favored against Aggro Demon Hunter anymore. Aggro Demon Hunter decks have evolved. Control Warrior is still a reliable counter, but Control Paladin, it's still like 52-53% in the matchup, so it's still favored against Aggro Demon Hunter. That's a very good upside, but it's just the weaker control deck. It loses to Control Warrior in the Control Mirror. It's less good against the best matchup, the matchup that control decks are being played for, so there's never any reason to really play Control Paladin. But it's still a deck that you can play if you really want to. And maybe these top 5 decks start to be like the real climbers, the real good climbing decks. And we start with Mech Paladin. Not a lot has changed with Mech Paladin. Stoneheart Vindicator is back, it was gone last week, it's back again now. It just comes and goes depending on the meta a little bit. Mech Paladin is the premium anti-control deck, it really preys on all sorts of control decks. It also takes an awful beating from Aggro Demon Hunter. There is the addition of Blademaster Samuro, hoping to find some edges in that matchup. And yeah, sometimes that can get the job done, but still, terrible matchup that one. But Mech Paladin is a very efficient control killer, and as such, one of the decks that you can play to Legend. Although the top 4 decks might be even stronger, and number 4 this week, yeah, I'm curious, number 4, shouldn't this be like in the top 3? But no, I'll get back to that in a moment. Number 4, Control Warrior. Control Warrior is the best and the only real counter to Aggro Demon Hunter. It also has some other good matchups. There's also a bunch of these mid-range decks with almost infinite value that just can keep pushing until Control Warrior crumbles. Last week I presented a Control Warrior list without Amalgams and with Azure Drake, but it seems that Amalgams are the better option in the end, with one addition, with Call of Ravager. Without Call of Ravager, Amalgam list is inferior to Azure Drake list, but once you add Call of Ravager, there's so much synergies there. You can draw Sir Finley Sea Guide, you can draw Amalgams, you can draw your Mutanus. Call of Ravager is such an excellent card draw piece that they make Amalgams worth running in Control Warrior again, and that means that you can use your Amalgams to activate your Kazakusan, and then if the game goes long, you will have Kazakusan as your win condition. The most interesting deck this week is this newcomer to the list that has defeated Control Warrior and made it fall down from the top 3, and that's Handbuff Paladin. Alright, so we're starting to see some innovation that is trying to fight against the current meta, but yeah, there's a bit of a problem with this still, because Handbuff Paladin, it's quite close to even against Aggro Demon Hunter, but it's still unfavored. We're still talking about maybe like 47-53, so okay, you can actually put up a fight there, but still nothing has been found that beats that Aggro Demon Hunter apart from Control Warrior. And while you're almost even against Aggro Demon Hunter, you're also punishing its counter matchup, so you're making sure that the latter would have even more than 40% Aggro Demon Hunters, and yeah, sort of siding with evil. But be that as it may, Handbuff Paladin has taken the meta by storm. It's by far the most interesting deck this week, and it's a very playable deck, so give it a try if you want to climb the legend. Alternatively, you can of course play some of the old favorites as well, because performance-wise there are still 2 decks above Handbuff Paladin, one of them being Quest Hunter. Quest Hunter is one of the least polarized decks in the game. Like, its weak matchups Aggro Demon Hunter, Handbuff Paladin, it's still above 40% in both of those, so it's not an automatic loss even in those matchups. That Aggro Demon Hunter matchup, obviously it hurts a little, because the refinement of Aggro Demon Hunter eventually resulted in Quest Hunter losing its advantage against that one. And now you're struggling in that matchup, you're struggling against a lot of other decks, but mini matchups being pretty close to 50-50 is definitely one of the advantages of Quest Hunter. Just play this, just pew pew face and win some games. And finally, the king, the undisputed ruler of the meta, Aggro Demon Hunter. We're currently seeing around 40% of the meta in Diamond 1 being Aggro Demon Hunters. There's only one single counter, one reliable counter to this deck, and that deck is Control Warrior. This deck is strong against a plethora of other decks. It just rolls over everything, beats them with pressure, beats them with Recta. Even if you survive all of that, then there's going to be some kind of Lady Steno plus spells turn to hit you in the face for 30 or something, and boom, you're just going to die anyway. Yeah, we desperately need a balance patch, but this is what it is. And these are the best decks that you can use right now to climb all the way to legend. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the content, please click the like button, subscribe to my channel, and check out my Twitch channel.